Relax.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Thanks very much for tuning in to News 9 Unmissable. I'm Nabila Jamal. I take you through news from India and across the globe. Let me start with our top story here. We're looking at the PCB versus the BCCI. Counter-complaint. Suryakumar Yadav, the Team India's T20 captain, has also now appeared for hearing after Pakistan's cricket board complained that it was unsportsmanly for him to be speaking about the Pahalgam terror attack right after the match. He spoke post-match comment that he gave that he dedicates this victory to the armed forces. According to Pakistan, that was a violation of sporting rules. So they filed a complaint. Suryakumar Yadav has also appeared for the hearing now. We hear that our Team India captain might just be penalized. We're going to take you through details on that. And Agarbatti, we hear from latest observations and doctors' testimonies on this, that it could be as bad as you out on the streets with polluted vehicles all around, or probably even worse than Delhi pollution. So taking you through the dangers and risks of Agarbatti here with our expert on the panel. And finally, on our day to night top story, Sameer Wankhede, the former NCB officer who was responsible in arresting Shah Rukh Khan's son Aryan Khan in an alleged drug case, has filed a defamation case against the series Bads of Bollywood, saying that they deliberately have hired his lookalike and have tried to defame him. He seeks 2 crores in damages. As always, I start with the headlines first. India signed 62,370 crore deal with HAL for 97 Tejas Mark 1A jets, including 68 fighters, 29 twin-seaters, deliveries from 27 to 28. That's basically the next 2 years. Expected deliveries to strengthen India's Air Force capability. Prime Minister Modi launches Bihar's Mukhyamantri Mahila Rozgar Yojana. The scheme will transfer 10,000 rupees each to 75 lakh women, promoting self-employment and financial independence for 1 woman per family across the state. The scheme has been launched in Bihar. Indian Navy conducts biennial joint drills in collaboration with Indian Army. Successfully concluded the biennial joint exercise Jal Prahar 25. The exercise tests amphibious operations, ship-to-shore landings, and enhances coordination and operational readiness between the Army and the Navy. Supreme Court grants relief to home buyers, ruling that builders liable to pay 18% interest on delayed plot possession. Supreme Court says builder may be charged same interest on delayed possession for fairness. Indian Air Force to decommission Russian origin MiG-21 fighter jet in Chandigarh, marking end of iconic 60-year service since induction in 1960s. Karnataka High Court orders voluntary participation in the state's socio-economic and education survey, directs the government to ensure confidentiality of data with access restricted solely to the Commission of Backward Classes. Kerala High Court issues interim order directing the shipping company MSC to pay 1,262 crores in compensation for environmental damage caused due to the sinking of MSC L3 ship. Seven monks, including Indian, Russian, Romanian nationals, die after cable-operated rail cart overturns at Nika Viratia Forest Monastery. In fact, this happened in Sri Lanka. 6 others injured in this tragic incident, one Indian as well. And in the United States, Republican Senator Chuck Grassley urges the Department of Homeland Security, the DHS, to halt work authorizations for student visa holders. Now, after H-1B fees, it appears US Republican senator there pushing for student visas, at least post-work admission for students should be banned. That's what he proposes, that anybody trying to compete with Americans should not be allowed to get a job. All right, let me cut across to our top story here. We're looking at the Asia Cup, where Operation Sindoor's echoes across matches between India and Pakistan. There seems to be controversy, and in the latest, the Asia Cup face-off between India and Pakistan has spilled off the field into a storm of complaints and counter-complaints. India captain Suryakumar Yadav now finds himself in the dock after the Pakistan Cricket Board filed a formal complaint with the ICC. The PCB says his remarks after India's win on September 14th, when he dedicated the victory to the victims of Pahalgam terror attack and India's armed forces. According to the PCB, his comments harmed the image of the sport. Now, news has just come in that Team India T20 captain Suryakumar Yadav has attended the ICC hearing conducted by match referee Richie Richardson, BCCI COO Hemang Amin, and cricket operations manager Sumit Malapukar also accompanied Suryakumar. We hear this has just about happened. He has been given an official warning. Suryakumar may likely be fined or he may get a demerit point. This is what is likely to happen. We're yet to ascertain. Information on this is just about trickling in. But we hear Suryakumar has refuted the allegations. He was part of the hearing there, and it appears that there may be a fine that he could attract for the comments he made, where he said, I dedicate this victory to our armed forces. This comes, remember, just hours after India's cricketing board, the BCCI, filed its own protest and a complaint against Pakistan's Haris Rauf and Farhan for those gestures you see on our screens, where Farhan was celebrating a 50 gunshot, like holding it like a gun and celebrating his 50 points, and Rauf, where he was seen doing the 6-0 gesture, which is interpreted as a reference to Pakistan's unsubstantiated claims of shooting down 6 Indian jets during the Operation Sindoor. Now, this has triggered outrage. ICC has also asked these two players for a written explanation as to what has happened. Making matters worse today, instead of cooling tempers, PCB chief Mohsin Naqvi has fanned this fire all the more, posting a video of Cristiano Ronaldo on his X account. And in that video, Ronaldo is seen making a fighter jet gesture, a move that is clearly viewed as deliberate provocation by Naqvi and a bid to justify the Pakistani players' aggressive gestures. This is a clear fall from grace. Look at it, Mohsin Naqvi, who is the chief of the PCB, posting such images clearly look like he is trying to instigate. An absolute shame, an embarrassment for him, if not for anything else. The row adds another layer of bitterness clearly to an Asia Cup that's already marred by political posturing. It began with India first refusing to handshake after the first encounter with Pakistan, and now this has escalated with both the cricketing boards of India and Pakistan filing charges against each other. Cricket now nearly turning into a diplomatic flashpoint. All right, let me quickly bring in our guests joining us for a little more. Chandrasekhar Luthra, senior sports journalist. We also have Saurabh Verma, film trade analyst, and commentator, sports commentator Shekhar Vijayan joining us. Thanks very much, all of you. Chandrasekhar Luthra, your take first. Let's start with you on Suryakumar Yadav receiving, likely to receive a penalty or a fine. Was this expected? We're very disappointed.
Well, isn't it, so laughable that, now he has been reprimanded because Pakistan has also, made a complaint against Indian team. Obviously, India has also made that complaint against Pakistanis. Point is, if you have to justify what Indians have done, then only you can penalize, Pakistanis. For me, the biggest, I would say, offense or the two count offense was committed by India or Indian captain or players. One is by not shaking hands. That was against the sportsman spirit. There I think Indian players could have been just reprimanded. That's all. Because it was not such a big offense to me, or to in terms of the law there in ICC law. But the second offense by making a political statement by Suryakumar, I think that was a very, very serious issue. If you had made this kind of comment in an Olympic or any FIFA game, I think there was a simple ban or there was a simple punishment where penalties or anything else could have been levied. But this is ICC, controlled by India, extension center of BCCI in Dubai, and controlled by none other by your own home minister, that nothing has happened so far. And now that he has been reprimanded is only I would say, just a, I would have not imagined that only this kind of reprimand would have, happened. To me, the right penalty or right thing was to do is to give him a suspended, probably, sentence, a ban of 1 or 2 games, I think, suspended ban, which we have seen. Sorry?
Suspension for Suryakumar, you're welcoming that?
Yes, for captain, obviously.
No, but Suryakumar is in CC, there has been some talk around Suryakumar complying by the BCCI's rules when it came to the handshake. BCCI rule meaning BCCI's message that you shouldn't be shaking hands with the Pakistan team. Now that the team did. Then they came out and when they were speaking to the media, Suryakumar said, I dedicate this victory to the armed forces. Why is it wrong?
That's making a political statement, and that is absolutely prohibited, banned in sports. That is what I am saying. This was a bigger offense than not shaking hands. You have to understand this. In sporting arena, this is completely no. So by making this statement on the behest of government or wherever, I think he has obviously committed this mistake, and he should have been penalized. Talking purely about sports and whatever I have covered. And second is by not shaking hands. That was obviously a very political decision taken by maybe our political masters who have made this country a hyper, I would say, nationalist country, and that's where we are also getting into a situation. We are claiming that by this gesture of making a bat. I could tell you hundred of instances from Vivian Richards to maybe Kapil or anybody who were doing all these things, making it a gun. Because when you are firing from cylinders, I'm not making any political statement, but when you fire from all cylinders, you obviously do these kind of gestures. You can, do a lot of other gestures.
So you're saying Rauf and Farhan did of firing a gun, pretending to fire a gun, of
I'm just saying
are not as bad as offences as what Suryakumar did by dedicating the victory to the armed forces. You're saying it's not as bad?
Absolutely.
How is that not a political statement on the ground then, what they did?
No. This was not a political. I'm saying that I have seen so many statements like this or gestures like this in Olympics, in Asian Games, wherever. When Usain Bolt, he used to, break any world record. Obviously, he used to make so many gestures of flying or, floating there. Or Shoaib Akhtar, if you remember, taking wickets, he used to float there, So obviously, these are the gestures that you do to celebrate, whatever you have done. But making a political statement was a wrong thing. And also, when you ask me whether these Pakistanis have committed any kind of error, yes, I agree that in the heat of the moment, the kind of situation we are in right now after Operation Sindoor, maybe they also had their own, ways of expressing things. But yes, by penalizing Suryakumar on that particular day, if ICC would have done, now they could have taken action. But now it is like, you show me action against Suryakumar and we can show you action against Pakistan. This is something, very very, very
So
bizarre.
you know
that
what
is
I see,
happening.
you know what I largely see here, Pakistan getting their way right from the start. They're upset that handshake did not happen. They're upset that Suryakumar dedicated the victory to the armed forces. They're upset, and it seems like the ICC is sort of going with Pakistan's demands here, and we're upset with that. What about India's grouse? What about India's grouse? What about Pakistani players making those aggressive gestures? Should they? BCCI has filed a complaint with the ICC. What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen to Rauf and Harris? Harris and Farhan.
To me, the offense is not that critical that they could get the penalties, you know.
But really, yes, is that not a political statement? What Harris, Rauf, and
depends.
Farhan did.
If you could come to that, or if you could, you know, there are histories I can tell you where these kind of gestures had happened on the ground, because this is, again, you look at the bat, the gun is on his own side. That means he was committing suicide. It is not on the other side. Remember this. I can show you lot of pictures where the gun is or the barrel is on the other side.
Oh, come on!
So these are
what
again,
are you saying?
you know,
Are you really? I'm shocked you're defending the player.
No, I'm not defending.
He himself.
I'm saying two wrongs does not make any right thing. I'm saying these kind of gestures.
You just said he's trying to commit suicide.
I mean, again, because the barrel is on your
I'm
own
sorry,
side.
what do you want?
On the other side.
That is not even that even Pakistan wouldn't have thought of. That's how much you're defending him.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I was going through so many pictures on the net. I have seen a picture.
Forget pictures. He himself has admitted. He says, "Yeah, I don't care. Let people say what they want. I wanted to celebrate it like that. I did it."
Because they are also under pressure. You have to understand this. If your players are under instructions from the government or Gautam Gambhir, your coach, or anybody, then Pakistanis are also under pressure from this.
So they should also get the same punishment then.
Masters.
Like Suryakumar, they should also get a penalty. They should also get a suspension if Suryakumar is.
If you are asking me which is a bigger offense, I would say by making a political statement. These gestures, not shaking hands, this is not in the political, not in the sportsman spirit. But if you ask me the penalties, then penalty should only happen to Suryakumar for making statement. Rest all can be reprimanded, given a warning, and also demerit points. Because after this, if you commit another offense like this, then you could be banned.
Okay. You know, I mean, speaking about the handshake, as much as there's been a lot of conversation around it, we heard Shashi Tharoor today, who spoke about the handshake, particularly saying that it was not right on India's part not to shake hands post the match. That is sportsman, it's their duty as a sports person to shake hands, and it's part of the game, so that shouldn't have been made political. This is what Shashi Tharoor has said. I'm going to just introduce what he said to you before I carry forward with this talk.
Once the decision had been made to play, if we feel so strongly about Pakistan, we should not have played. But if we are going to play them, because if we had not played, we would have forfeited the points and we would perhaps not have lost the tournament on that reason. If we were going to play them, we should play in the spirit of the game, and we too should have handshakes. I have shaken their hands, done the normal things that are required. We've done this before.
All right, let me bring in Shekhar Vijayan, who's also vehemently opposed India playing Pakistan. But now that the game has happened, we're looking at a controversy that we've never seen before, and it's become a bigger drama, if anything, if not for anything else. Pakistan have just lost one game after the other, but their attitude is on another plane. Shekhar Vijayan.
Absolutely. This is a pattern they have. And I was listening to, my namesake speak as we talk. And, the fact is the Pakistan team is doing this. But, Nabila, there's a pattern here. I've seen that the Pakistan under 17 football team, they also did some kind of posturing like this, about sipping tea and, trying to indicate that something about the armed forces. So, I don't know, it looks like they're all following a particular pattern. They want to distract us from the fact that they've been losing games. They've been taking this no handshake policy very seriously, and it's hit them really hard. The fact that India's just royally ignored them in terms of not shaking hands with them, in terms of not engaging with them, in terms of just playing, finishing it off in a professional manner, and not at all engaging with them pre-match or post-match. That has hit them really hard, and they're doing whatever they can in terms of trying to get under India's skin. They tried abusing India. They tried doing all this aggressive posturing, in terms of all those various pyrodynamics they were trying to show. But that didn't work. At the end of the day, Pakistan usually does this whenever they lose games. We have noticed this. This is a pattern they have. And now I see that it's not just happening in cricket for them. It's happening in other sports too. It looks like they all have an unwritten diktat that, now post what's happened with India, they want to make sure that they use these gestures at every arena. It's India's fault that India went and played with Pakistan because India has given them an open canvas to do something like this. The fact that, as we talk on the screen, he's showing an aggressive posture of using a Sten gun, or, they have different players who are doing different things, mouthing obscenities, showing a plane, showing a rocket. And this is even after losing. If you win, your action speaks louder than words. They have lost so miserably against India. And, they're just making up excuses, making up reasons for the fact that they didn't play well at all.
So cricketing experts would say that India started this. India refused to shake hands and started this behavior of unsportsmanly behavior. So then we've got to tolerate the response as well. What would you say to that?
Absolutely. So India has tolerated the response. India has not complained about anything. It's Pakistan who's doing the complaining. India is just rolling.
BCCI has complained about gestures, from Rauf and those
absolutely, but
aggressive.
See, Nabila, but
tactics.
These gestures are really unwarranted. These are very, very wrong, demeaning gestures. If you look at the gestures, everybody knows what they mean. And you're just trying to incite trouble here. And it's a certain pattern. This is not just from them, from a couple of players inside the team itself. So they're doing what they can. BCCI has complained. And I think it's a tit for tat. And I think India has also done the same thing.
Yeah,
See, at the end of the day, winning is important.
Winning is important, but this tit for tat has really escalated. It's become, it's cast a shadow on the entire Asia Cup. Now, India better win this cup, We're a little tense to see what next, because both teams are so angry with each other. I'm not too sure how that will play out. Of course, India is a far more superior team than Pakistan. Right. And we have been winning matches, but this aggression on the field when you have personal rivalry, how does that really play out, Chandrasekhar?
Well, when we talk about the rivalry, it's a very, very healthy rivalry.
This is healthy.
So many matches.
How is this healthy?
Not this.
Yeah.
I'm saying on cricketing field, generally before this, whatever happened, I think we were the best of the friends with Pakistani players and vice versa. I have seen so many times, heard the stories from the cricketers and also witnessed it over last 30 years. So there was absolutely no problem. We had sledging issues. We had, obviously our common language is Punjabi, Hindi, Urdu. So we used to sledge each other like ma bhan kind of, everywhere. But the problem is when you bring in, this kind of political statements, then obviously if you are under pressure, my simple point is, if Indian players are under pressure, so are Pakistanis. How could you imagine that Pakistani is not responding after what has India done? Again, this is something that the war is also being fought on the cricketing fields or anywhere else. And when we talk about pattern, my friend was saying they are following some pattern. I have not seen these kind of gestures anywhere else. Obviously we hardly cover anything else apart from hockey, but we have not seen these kind of things. This is a recent thing that has happened, and only happened when we made the political statement, when we did not play as per the sportsman spirit. And for all that, you have to understand that who gave the permission. I always maintain this, that the only people who have given permission for this tournament was first week of August, came from obviously PMO and Home Ministry, and that's how Shah, their favorite son, and someone who is employed there, despite his no knowledge of cricket, then obviously it is to save his job that we are committing errors after errors. And if ICC has to penalize Suryakumar, they will also penalize Pakistanis or vice versa. It's a give and take kind of situation for ICC. But very, very unfortunate things that we have witnessed over last 2 weeks.
All right. Well, unfortunate, and you did mention how India and Pakistan have worked very closely. There's been decades of enmity,
Best of the friends.
But the situation has gotten worse in the last few years, right? with regards to films, you have Pakistani artists who extensively have worked in the Indian film industry. I'm not too sure if it's happened the other way around, but India has welcomed Pakistani artists extensively. Diljit Dosanjh to be one of them, who had his movie Sardar 3 recently, where he had Hania Amir, a very famous Pakistani actress, be part of the film. He was labelled as anti-national and whatnot. And there was a lot of condemnation against Diljit, calling him anti-national and that he was insensitive to the Pahalgam terror strikes, though Diljit at that point as well had clarified that his film was shot even before the Pahalgam terror attacks. But nonetheless, he still went ahead with the film, bearing all that backlash. Today, Diljit broke his silence, speaking extensively on a stage at a concert where he elaborated as to what really happened, and in a way got emotional while saying that Punjabis, Sikhs will never ever go against the country. But what about India playing Pakistan? The government has allowed it. Here's what he had said.
ਜਦੋਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਫਿਲਮ ਆਈ ਸੀ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਜੀ, ਉਹ ਫਰਵਰੀ ਚ ਬਣੀ ਸੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਮੈਚ ਖੇਲਦੇ ਪਏ ਸੀ। ਔਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਦੁਖਦਾਈ ਘਟਨਾ ਹੋਈ ਪਹਿਲਗਾਮ ਅਟੈਕ ਦੀ, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਨਿੰਦਾ ਕੀਤੀ, ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕੀਤੀ, ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਹਮਲਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਖਤ ਤੋਂ ਸਖਤ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਮਿਲਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ। ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਪਰ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਚ ਹੋਏ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਫਿਲਮ ਦਾ ਫਰਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡੀ ਫਿਲਮ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸ਼ੂਟ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ, ਮੈਚ ਬਾਅਦ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਇਆ ਤੇ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਦਾ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਦਿਲਜੀਤ ਦੋਸਾਂਝ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਦਿਖਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਲਈ, ਪਰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਤੇ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਕੌਮ ਕਦੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ।
Well, that was Diljit Dosanjh there. We gave you a snippet of what he said. He spoke for 3 minutes exactly on this, that Sardar 3 faced a lot of flack and whatnot. So we see a lot of times when it comes to national security and border issues, a lot of stars, actors get caught in the crossfire. While there are no norms or rules that are laid out in black and white, artists are usually misinterpreted, and Diljit Dosanjh was one of them, where there was a lot of fire at him saying that you did not stand for the nation at that point. But imagine the kind of losses he could have incurred if he really shelved that film, Sardar 3. Saurabh Verma, who's a film trade analyst and former CMO, Geo Studios and Inox, gives us a little take on that. Saurabh, I waited to come to you post the Diljit angle here, but this is very important. It's been trending whole of today. That really shows that people, one, love Diljit, and his response to what had happened, finally breaking his silence, they've lapped it up. People are welcoming the statement that he's made. But you tell us, what's the kind of damage or losses that filmmakers, actors, producers incur because of a border situation or anything that's not written in black and white, but you're expected to take a moral stand?
So I guess, let me start by saying that nobody questions Diljit Dosanjh's integrity, his love for the nation. I don't think anybody can question that. So that's for sure. The only thing is that any film takes at least a year to make. So anything which you are making today, we have to assume what's going to happen 12 months or 14 months or 18 months from now, because that's the kind of process a film takes. And it's got more than 150 people involved in making one film. It's not just owned by one person or a producer or somebody. It's, there's so many people involved. There's so much of stake in whatever. One thing which I can always say is that, there was always a, conflict between the two nations, and this conflict is not new. Air Dil Hai Mushkil faced the same problem with Fawad and everything, and I think it is, even today, if somebody wants to cast a Pakistani actor, they have to think like twice or maybe 10 times before doing that, because you never know what's going to happen 12 months from now. We can
but that's the sad part. If there has to be a ban, then there has to be a full ban. Then the government has to fully block Pakistani actors and give it in black and white, in written, that that India should not be collaborating with Pakistani artists. But there is no definite definition there. But yet people are expected for producers and actors to take this moral high stand. And if you're not, then there's silent boycott or not so silent boycott happening on social platforms. How fair is that?
So I guess it's not something which the government is saying. I think it's the emotion which is flowing through internet and everything, where whatever you say is going to be misinterpreted. And like you said, that film industry is a very easy target to do anything. So I mean, that's the easy scapegoat to do everything. So whatever's happened, it's a loss to Indian makers. It's a loss to the Indian producer and an Indian actor. But having said that, I think that whole emotion is coming from the public, from people who are there in the internet and everything. So I don't think it's government who's telling them कि यार ये allowed है ये नहीं है. But I think there should be a clear dictat. If cricket is allowed, then so should be entertainment. This demarcation is something which is something not working for. I mean, I'm not able to understand this.
Yeah, and it's so fluid, right? Now we hear that Fawad Khan's film is releasing in India.
I guess I don't think that's going to happen. But if it happens, I mean, then it's unfair because
Now all the Pakistani YouTube channels have been unblocked. We in India can view it now. So that embargo has been breached.
yeah. So
That's a problem, Nabila, sometimes, by when we go for this hyper nationalism kind of thing, then that is not going to serve any issues, the relative issues. Problem is even our Shah, the favorite son of India, and his father, Home Minister of India, they did not assume that in December that this kind of situation would come. There will be a Operation Sindoor after 6 months. And we had to play because that was done, that was signed because we didn't want to, invite Pakistan to India. So as a host, we are hosting a match in UAE now or in Saudi Arabia because we knew that we are not traveling to Pakistan. We did not assume that this kind of situation will come. If they could not assume, how can we expect any producer or director or any cricketer to assume all these things? This is absolutely ridiculous. As I always maintain that we are a much bigger nation, much big-hearted relation. We are not Talibanis. We are not Hindu Talibanis. Our countries has never been like this. So we have to show that bigger thing. And Pakistan, being a very small state, obviously we cannot compare ourselves to Pakistan in whatever field.
We've been big on many levels every time,
Yes.
India has always been forgiving, forever forgiving. India is forever forgiving.
Well, post 2009, if you remember, when we stopped taking Pakistani players into IPL, which is a money spinner, it's much bigger than playing for nation or anything. When it comes to only earning money. What happened in 2010 auctions in Mumbai? I was there. I broke this story. How a small slip was given to all the team owners that not to pick Pakistani players. That was the UPA time. That was not the NDA time. That was Lalit Modi at the helm at that point of time. So obviously it was done silently. That don't pick Pakistani players post 2009 Mumbai issues. So. Things could have done in a different way.
What is there to hide anymore? Why should we hide the hatred? If they are breeding terror, if they are breeding terror, then we've got to be brazen as well. It can't be. We can't be
completely.
Then be an example.
Silently tiptoeing around the issue.
Then our politicians should be an example. Our Shah should be an example. Why are you making these players a pawn in your dirty politics? Suryakumar Yadav,
pawn in dirty politics. Why do you say that? Yes. My last question here is that Suryakumar Yadav initiated this no handshake rule for the entire team based on a direction given by the BCCI. Absolutely. Now that has resulted in this whole controversy now with Suryakumar Yadav himself due to be facing a penalty or a suspension. So that now is a very tricky situation. We've got to see how the BCCI will fully back Suryakumar Yadav, because it was India's stance completely with the cricketing board saying they did not want to shake hands and it wasn't even mandatory. But now the poor guy has to face the heat. He might face suspension. A final word, Saurabh Verma, you were saying, I cut you short.
So I guess from my perspective, if I just look at the film industry and I don't know the bigger politics of all this, I think it's immensely stupid to, think about a film which is going to release in a year and, cast some Pakistani artists for whatever reasons. We don't have any dearth of any talent in India. We don't have dearth of any kind of cast we want to hire. So I think it's,
we don't have dearth of talent in India, but let's be honest, Diljit Dosanjh is Sikh Punjabi. There's huge connection in that sense along the border area. Pakistan speaks Punjabi. There's a Sindh area. There's that. It's basically homeland torn apart into two, right? It's been, but yet there's a lot of emotion and there's a lot of cross-border viewership. So you're catering to that
absolutely
culture
not.
and emotion.
I differ here because the maximum number of pirated things which go of India goes from Pakistan. It's not that we make revenue out of Pakistan. In fact, a lot of but I don't disagree.
Pakistan is a poor country. What revenue will they give us? They'll do all the under-table work better.
But they kill but they enhance the piracy market because that's the first place from where the whole pirated prints are disseminated. So for us, it's also kills our industry. So my only thing is if you're planning something which is going to release 1.5 years later, you need to be a little more careful in casting and everything. But now that this has happened, I think if you're allowing cricket, then you should allow films.
All right. Shekhar Vijayan, final word.
See, I think, like I said earlier, I think there is a pattern which Pakistan is doing, and they're doing this just to distract us from real issues of the game. India shouldn't have played the game in the first place, and I think the access is going to fall on Surya. Surya has to take the blame for it or for what he's done. BCCI should obviously back him for this. I think more than BCCI, the entire country is standing with Surya for this because I don't think India has done anything wrong here. India has done what they're supposed to do. They were not supposed to play. They went and played with them. Like you said, this is just Pakistan's fall of grace. And this is really unwarranted. It is not needed. This was just a simple game of cricket.
But we're just hoping that Suryakumar Yadav does not really have to be suspended. If there's a penalty, then BCCI should pay and finish it. Thank you.
Rest assured, Nabila, don't worry about this. We have bigger son there, taking care of all this.
Okay.
Only his job is being saved right now.
All right. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
A quick break. We'll be right back with our story, a special story on agarbattis, how it could be worse than smoking cigarettes. Stay with us.
Alakazam fish disappear.
Smooth, silent, seamless. Sliding systems from headache.
पापा इससे पहले जो चलाई थी वही ले ले।
चलती बढ़िया है। कुछ कह रहे थे?
नहीं, इनकी सर्विस पे डाउट था ना।
सर, ओवर 300 टच पॉइंट्स, 170 सेंसिटीज।
पर इन्हें सिर्फ 25 ही साल हुए हैं।
तुमसे तो ज्यादा ही है।
Skoda FanFest is live. Walk in today for a test drive and avail exciting benefits.
Skoda.
You can take a left, you can take a right. Add a little salsa or a little jive. If you really feel it, say it on price. It's a vibe, it's a vibe, it's a vibe.
Java 42, the answer.
सुरों से सजेगी एक शाम, दिलों को छूने आ रहे हैं रोमांस के बादशाह शान। TV9 फेस्टिवल ऑफ इंडिया लेकर आ रहा है शान लाइव कॉन्सर्ट मेजर ध्यानचंद नेशनल स्टेडियम दिल्ली। 1 अक्टूबर शाम 7 बजे से इस जादुई शाम का हिस्सा बनिए। टिकट्स अवेलेबल ऑन बुक माई शो। स्पेशल पार्टनर लायरा वुमेन्स वेयर, लेगिंग्स वो जो लायरा हो। फिलिप्स, सोने पे सुहागा। पोलो एलिवेटर्स, स्मार्ट भारत की स्मार्ट लिफ्ट।
Curves that turn heads. Intelligent touches that excite. Presenting the sleek and smart all-electric BF6 from VinFast. India price starts at 16.49 lakhs.
Welcome back. All right, it's festival season, a time when homes light up with lamps, diyas and incense sticks. But as celebrations begin, experts are warning about a silent health hazard inside our own homes, and those are incense sticks or incense smoke. The agarbattis that you use, the smoke that comes out of that, is hazardous and how. Delhi is bracing up for its annual stubble burning season that worsens air pollution every October and November. And now pulmonologists are drawing attention to another source of indoor pollution, and those are agarbattis. A study has been published in Clinical and Molecular Allergy that's found that burning incense can generate over 45 mg of particulate matter per gram. In fact, cigarettes, on the other hand, produce about 10 mg per gram burned. So imagine the difference. It's like literally smoking 4 cigarettes, 1 agarbatti. This indicates that incense burning can release significantly higher levels of particulate matter compared to smoking. Incense sticks contain aromatic plant materials, resins, and essential oils. And when burned, they release pollutants including PM 2.5, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, VOCs, and PAHs and whatnot. These pollutants lead to respiratory issues, allergic reactions, and increased risk of respiratory cancers. In a recent Instagram video, which has now gone supremely viral, Dr. Sonia Goel, a lung specialist known for her work on asthma, COPD, and sleep apnea, has explained how incense smoke can damage our lungs. Even occasional exposure, she warns, can really trigger coughing, allergies, or even breathing difficulties. And daily exposure is even worse to incense smoke. It increases the risk of long-term lung complications, especially when it's lit in closed, unventilated spaces. Children and elderly and people with asthma or weak lungs are the most vulnerable. Now, lighting an agarbatti or incense stick is common ritual in many Indian households. The fragrant smoke fills the room, creating quite a calming atmosphere, and also for meditation. It's a great prop, but, well, should you be doing it? Is this okay on a daily basis? To bring us a little more in detail is the lady herself, Dr. Sonia Goel, who shed light on this, pulmonologist. Thank you very much. She joins us from Dehradun. I really appreciate, Sonia, for you speaking about this on your social platforms, and we've managed to spot it, and we thought it was important enough because now is the festival season, and an agarbatti is in possibly everyone's house across religions, or an incense stick, even oud, which is so popular in most households that I know. Dr. Sonia, why is this worse than smoking?
Hi, thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to bring this into the light, that whatever we're doing in form of rituals and culture is somehow impacting our lives. So we have to be cautious, we have to take some precautions and do it in moderation. So, am I audible?
You are. Go on,
Hello?
we can hear you, we can hear you.
Yeah. So, lighting incense, that is agarbatti, is worse because it also generates particulate matter, volatile organic compounds, and formaldehyde, other irritants to mucosa, and it irritates our airway. It can trigger our asthma, it can trigger our COPD, acute exacerbation, and if you use it daily and you use it regularly for a longer period, it can also cause COPD.
No, now what do you suggest? I mean, people use it on a daily basis at their homes. Do you suggest that you can use it once a while, or you've got to keep all your doors and windows open? Any hacks that one could indulge in to ensure that they're because people are so used to an agarbatti at home. I know a lot of people who do puja at home, and an agarbatti a day is almost as if it's incomplete without it. So how can you use it without having to worry?
Yeah, you can use some precautions, like use it outdoors, or if not possible, have a proper ventilation in your home and have a big area to light these incense sticks, and also in moderation. Don't overdo it, don't do it regularly, like once in a while is okay, but it is not safe. And the space should be big enough. It should be outdoor more preferably, and if you can avoid, it is the best thing.
My question then also I would also ask you if candles are safe then, because you have a lot of these flavored, fragrant candles that people use for after dinner. You light a nice fragrant candle because you want the smell of all the masalas to go away, and this has also become a habit and a culture in most households. I also use a lot of those candles. Is that okay?
No, but if you do it, then stop it right now, because artificial scented candles are also not safe. The alternative options are beeswax candle or soy candle. These are much safer option and also have less smoke. But smoke of any kind is unsafe. So you have to be cautious. And if you are using the artificial one, that is the more unsafe options.
Things like oud, bakur, these are also things that also fall in the same category because they're also being burnt?
Yeah, on my post also I got sambrani. Got so many comments for sambrani, which also has, yes, it has less chemical additive chemicals, but it is also producing smoke, and which is not safe especially in a household which has poor ventilation and which has a very small area, and who have vulnerable groups. Vulnerable groups are children already who have pre-existing lung diseases.
All right, so that's the target group. If you're vulnerable, if you have those issues, then it's about time you stop going anywhere near a burning agarbatti. But I really appreciate Dr. Sonia Goyal, pulmonologist, for shedding light on your post, and through you, we could also give our viewers this important piece of information. Thank you.
But the most important thing I would suggest, if you can go for a diffuser, the essential oil diffuser. These are the best option if you want scented aroma around you, and prefer the non-irritant one like chamomile, rose, and lavender. So these are the safer option. And if you look for eucalyptus, peppermint, tea tree, camphor, so these are irritant
safer. And the ones you put on through electricity, you put some powder on it and put it in, switch it on.
Yes, this is the best one. Yes, this is the best one which you can use because it is totally smoke free. And you should use unscented one, the natural scented, like I talked about soy wax candle, beeswax candle, the natural non-irritant oil diffusers. So you should use these.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sonia, for joining us on that. All right. Let me cut across to all our top stories and day tonight. Let me start with Sonam Wangchuk. A day after violent protests in Ladakh claimed 4 lives, the man at the center of it all, educationist and activist Sonam Wangchuk, now faces the heat from Home Ministry. The government of India has now cancelled the Foreign Contribution Act. In fact, the FCRA registration of SECMOL, which is Sonam Wangchuk's NGO. SECMOL is the Students' Educational and Cultural Movement of Ladakh, which is founded by Wangchuk. The Ministry of Home Affairs has flagged multiple violations to which they've cancelled this FCRA license. And those violations include allegedly rupees 3.35 lakh from the sale of an old bus was not properly disclosed. Rupees 54,600 from Indian volunteers was wrongly deposited into the FCRA account. Rupees 4.93 lakhs from a Swedish donor spent on sovereignty studies, which is barred under FCRA rules, was done. Rupees 19,600 incorrectly recorded while refunding a donor. So these are some errors and miscalculations that have been highlighted by the investigative body, and therefore the Home Ministry has decided to cancel Sonam Wangchuk's NGO SECMOL, SECMOL's FCRA license. It's been now cancelled with immediate effect. Wangchuk, of course, calling this move as a witch hunt on him. Let's hear it.
हमारे विद्यालय की जमीन वापस ले जा रहे हैं, ऐसा नोटिस आया. उसके बाद सीबीआई की इंक्वायरी, ये 2 हफ्ते पहले की बात है. तो सीबीआई के नोटिस में ये लिखा है कि 2022 से 24 में आपकी संस्था ने विदेशी मुद्रा ग्रहण किया, जबकि आपके पास अनुमति नहीं है, एफसीआरए नहीं है. तो ये विच हंटिंग का एक बदकिस्मती से कहना पड़ रहा है, एक कड़ी सा चला, जिसका आखिरी कड़ी था कल जब हिंसा के बाद पूरा का पूरा दोष सोनम वांगचुक पे डाला.
All right, now the Home Ministry has warned of strict action, also suggesting that Enforcement Directorate can now take up this case and initiate a FEMA probe into SECMOL. This is what we hear. BJP's Amit Malviya, who weighed in on this case, he put out on his X platform saying that it's high time Wangchuk's NGO faced the law. He pointed to a 2007 government notice where it wasn't the BJP in power at that point, of course, the Congress that was in power then. Amit Malviya says in 2007 too, there was violation that was flagged off by the government against Wangchuk's NGO. Now, all this comes just as Wangchuk ended his 15-day hunger strike. The demand, of course, for statehood and Ladakh's inclusion in the 6th schedule remains alive and continues to simmer. Protesters now pressing for an urgent meeting with the centre. And while that happens on one hand, Wangchuk in the dock. All right, cutting across to big controversy here. Netflix series, The Bads of Bollywood, has landed in big trouble. Former NCB officer Sameer Wankhede, the man who arrested Shah Rukh Khan's son Aryan Khan in 2021 cruise drugs case, has filed a defamation suit against the makers of The Bads of Bollywood. Sameer Wankhede has moved the Delhi High Court against Shah Rukh Khan and his company Red Chillies Entertainment and Netflix as well. He says that the show mocks him by casting a lookalike character, which was done deliberately to malign his image at a time when the Aryan Khan case is still sub judice. This is a cast of Bads of Bollywood on the left, Sameer Wankhede on the right. Well, quite a striking resemblance there, and Sameer Wankhede saying just that in his case, that this was a deliberate attempt to mock me. A lookalike of me was featured in the series. In the very first episode, a character resembling Wankhede is shown barging into a Bollywood party, asking for stars doing drugs. Wankhede argues that this was a deliberate attempt to ridicule him and damage public trust in the law enforcement. He sought 2 crores in damages, which he says will be donated to the Tata Memorial Cancer Hospital, and has also demanded a permanent injunction on the series. Now, Sameer Wankhede also flagged obscene gestures and slogans in the series, saying that they in fact breach the Prevention of Insults of National Honour Act, the IT Act, and the BNS. The Delhi High Court has scheduled the matter for hearing on 26th of September. For now, Bads of Bollywood stands accused of twisting fact into fiction. Basically, allegations leveled by Sameer Wankhede that real life was dragged into real life and I seem to be the victim of it. I need to be compensated or shut the show down permanently. All right, now Bengaluru. Remember, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah had written to Wipro asking for traffic to be allowed inside his campus near Outer Ring Road. Well, Wipro has said no. Bengaluru's traffic woes continue to draw attention, but Wipro has officially declined Karnataka government's request to open its Sarjapur campus as a public route. The IT giant has cited strict security protocols linked to its special economic zone status. In a formal reply from founder chairperson Azim Premji himself, Wipro has acknowledged the severe congestion on the Outer Ring Road and appreciated the government's efforts to ease traffic. However, allowing public access to the private campus, according to Azim Premji, was deemed as unfeasible due to a global client security requirements. Instead, Wipro has now proposed a collaborative, data-driven study led by urban transport experts. Basically, Wipro says we can't allow traffic in through our campus, but what we can do is fund your research on how better to fix the bottleneck along the Outer Ring Road area. The plan, of course, according to Wipro, will allow to develop a multi-phase roadmap to tackle Bengaluru's traffic on the whole, with Wipro funding a significant portion and providing a point of contact for ongoing coordination with the government. So they say, we promise to fund this study that will allow you to have a more permanent solution to Bengaluru traffic, but sorry, we cannot allow traffic through our campus. Now, this proposed expert study that Wipro has suggested, will it really come to life? Will commuters finally be able to commute within the logical time period? We've got to wait and watch. Now, in Karnataka, in a successful cross-border operation, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh health authorities have busted an illegal female feticide racket, preventing an attempted termination and exposing a sex determination network operating across state lines. The case involved a 30-year-old pregnant woman from Malavalli, Mandya, already a mother of 3 daughters. We hear that she wanted a boy next, so she went through an illegal prenatal sex determination check and planned an abortion as well. She found out it was another girl and she planned an abortion in Andhra Pradesh after learning that the fetus was female. As part of the decoy operation in Andhra Pradesh, the couple handed over 9,000 for alleged abortion. Agent Sitamma collected 7,500, paying 2,000 to a medical store, keeping 5,500 to herself, returning 1,500 to the couple. She also revealed the abortion would be conducted by a doctor in Guntakal. So they wanted to kill the baby girl while the lady was few months pregnant, and they went to Andhra all the way through agents and authorities now led by Karnataka PCPNDT nodal officer Dr. Vivek Dorai and his Andhra Pradesh counterpart Dr. KVNS Anil Kumar executed a decoy sting near the state border. The woman's agent Sitama was caught taking the money to arrange the abortion, which was later traced to a doctor in Guntakal. The entire transaction was recorded and verified, and evidence was also handed over to the Andhra Pradesh authorities. Health Minister Dinesh Gundarao in Karnataka condemned this issue and praised this operation, saying such unlawful practices should be clamped down on, and Karnataka is steadfast.
ತಾಯಿ ಅಥವಾ ಅವರ ಕುಟುಂಬದವರು ಅವರು ಅದನ್ನು ಒತ್ತಡ ಹಾಕಿ ಬೇಡ ನಮಗೆ ಮಗು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಬೇಡ, ಇದು ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಆ ಒಂದು ಮನಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಹೋಗ್ಲಾಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ತಾನೆ, ಅದು ಮುಖ್ಯ. ಈ ಎರಡನೇದು ಈ ತರ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು ಯಾರಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಹಿಡಿದಾಕಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ರಮ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದು ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು.
Now, in Bengaluru, tensions have flared at Hotel Taj West End in Bengaluru as a faction of the pro-Kannada outfit Karnataka Rakshana Vedike, led by the Karave Narayan Gowda outfit, stormed a program that was held at the Taj West End, which was attended by some North Indian MPs, and that was held for promoting the Hindi language. These Kannada activists barged into the venue and tore down those banners. Eventually, police had to step in to calm nerves. But this was what happened. The visuals you see on our screens, the event, which was aimed to discuss better pay and benefits for Hindi speakers, faced strong opposition by the Kannada Rakshana Vedike. Visuals showing the group taking over parts of the premises, clashing with the hotel authorities, disrupting the program. In fact, protesters opposed what they saw as disrespect to Kannada and the forced imposition of Hindi, making it difficult for hotel staff to manage it as well. The Karave stated the central government has a bad dream of imposing Hindi forcibly. We will never allow it. Police had to finally intervene and detain those protesters. And Karave has now announced an anti-Hindi symposium on October 18 to continue their agitation and protest against any Hindi imposition. Officials have urged calm and security remains heightened, but these people were detained right after the case. Now, communal tensions erupted in Bahial area of Dehgam Taluka in Gandhinagar, Gujarat during Garba celebrations, triggering violent clashes and widespread damage. Authorities have deployed heavy security to restore order there. Trouble began when a group of people reportedly pelted stones during the festivities, sparking a mob clash between communities. Violence quickly escalated, leading to vandalism during that Garba event, where vehicles were also burned and shops were gutted. Reports suggest over 250 people were involved in the stone pelting, and mobs from both communities came face to face, creating tense and volatile situations. In response, the police has deployed more than 150 personnel, including senior officers, to bring the situation under control. Authorities have detained 50 people, 2 FIRs have been filed. Police are also monitoring social media platforms to identify and apprehend those responsible. Officials have urged public to remain calm and largely indoors. Security has been kept tight across the area. All right, now the inheritance battle over late industrialist Sanjay Kapoor's empire, estimated at nearly 30,000 crores, is turning increasingly bitter, from allegations of wiped out bank accounts to disputes over confidential asset disclosures. Courtroom drama is only getting murkier here. Sanjay Kapoor's children from his second marriage with actor Karishma Kapoor, Samaira and Kian Raj Kapoor, have sued Priya Kapoor, their father's third wife, along with his mother Rani Kapoor, seeking their rightful share in his personal assets. Their counsel has alleged that as per their information, the bank accounts have been drained out, leaving nothing behind. Priya Kapoor moved the Delhi High Court meanwhile, seeking permission to file her late husband's assets and liability details in a sealed cover. Her counsel, senior advocate Sahyal Trehan, cited sensitive financial information. She argued that disclosure in public domain could cause irreparable harm. But the justice has questioned the request, asking Priya Kapoor's legal team to show any provision in the law that allows the estate details to remain confidential. Karishma Kapoor's children, on their part, strongly oppose the idea of confidentiality, saying that it would limit their access to vital estate information. All right, that's it for me here. Thanks very much for tuning in. Stay with us.
Java 42, the answer.
जिनकी आवाज से युवाओं के दिल धड़कते हैं, जिनकी बीट से थिएटर में रिकॉर्ड टूटते हैं, झूम उठेगी दिल्ली जब मंच पर आएगी सैयारा फेम सचेत परंपरा की जोड़ी। TV9 फेस्टिवल ऑफ इंडिया लाइव कॉन्सर्ट मेजर ध्यानचंद नेशनल स्टेडियम दिल्ली 28 सितंबर शाम 7 बजे से। स्पेशल पार्टनर लायरा वुमेन्स वेयर, लेगिंग्स वो जो लायरा हो। फिलिप्स, सोने पे सुहागा। पोलो एलिवेटर्स, स्मार्ट भारत की स्मार्ट लिफ्ट।
Dreaming about me.
Love is to get lost in the look. Unlimit Love B6 Pack 2 starts at 21.9 lakh.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited for this conversation.
Dual of next is I speak to women who are super achievers, but they have a lot to cover.
There are miles literally to go before I sleep.
Living more is living longer, and doing more is living more.
You sometimes are just born with the fire in you.
What you thought yesterday, the whole context of your thought might change today.
And I like people who are neurodivergent.
Looking after yourself is never selfish.
So I told myself I'm that monk who did not sell her Ferrari.
No matter how much you have achieved, it's possibly not complete.
Life is a game of striking that balance all the time.
You have defined what you want.
Now what is coming next? I want the universe to give it to me.
What got you here won't get you there.
Mostly I'm composed. कोई तंग करूंगी आप मुझे बता दीजिए.
Football is our culture. Match days turn into festivals. Every goal ignites the crowd. Strangers become family. Football is our culture, but goals are our tradition.
I led a MiG-21 squadron during the Kargil Ops and came out of the Kargil operations as one of the most decorated units of the Indian Army.
So overall, I think 71 was operationally a great demonstration of its capability.
The MiG-21 has done amazing work and quite frankly flown well, it never let you down.
It was called a flying coffin and so on. I think it was not a deserved moniker.
Of course, I also came back and ejected.